Coming up on this episode of WJMH Reports, Ogilvie Zoo is bringing back a fun annual event for the Halloween season.
Also, using WJMH Media football broadcast. Sit tight to find out what other events we do.
And one John Marshall organization works daily to give back to students. We'll tell you more.
Stay tuned. This week's episode of WJMH Reports starts now.
Welcome to this edition of WJMH Reports. I'm Maria Evans.
And I'm Roman Gray.
A lot of Halloween fun is being brought to everyone in the Ohio Valley. Boo at the Zoo is one of these events.
Here's WJMH Leah Gary with our top story.
Boo at the Zoo originally started in the 1980s, and families still come here today to enjoy the animals and fun. Children are encouraged to come to the event dressed in costumes, and ages 3 through 12 will receive delicious snacks and candy from stations located along the zoo's walking path outside. Each pathway features a unique theme of decorations. You can hop aboard the spooky train ride and adventure through the dinosaur safari and stop for some fun at the Jumbo Jumper. Boo at the Zoo attendee Cormac enjoyed the fun again this year.
I loved that how there was a lot of dinosaurs and stuff, and the jumpy pillow I did last year.
Event volunteer Paige Adams believes the event is important to the community because it is not only fun for kids, but also educational.
Because there's a special message to the animals. You know, people get education around here. You learn about the conservation. They get to go around and answer questions from little QR codes, and they can learn about the different animals.
Boo at the Zoo runs every weekend in October on Fridays 5 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Reporting from the Ogilvie Zoo, I'm Leah Gary with WJMH Reports.
Thanks, Leah. Timed entry tickets are required. Guests must present proof of purchase and personal identification upon arrival at the zoo admission gates. For more information, visit ogilvie.com/boo. Again, that is ogilvie.com/boo.
Being the spooky season, parents don't want to be scared that their kids aren't being safe on Halloween night. So here are some tips to ease their minds. Use reflective tape or fabric to make sure cars can see them in the dark. Make sure to look both ways before crossing the street. Don't go out alone. Stay in a group of trusted people to avoid getting lost. To avoid tripping yourself or others, you should wear properly fitting costumes, especially shoes. And finally, keep a phone or device with you in case of an emergency.
WJMH Media broadcasts many events, such as John Marshall football games. There was one more football broadcast this year. The final regular home game of the 2022 season will take place on Friday, October 28th. You can watch it live on our YouTube page. However, this will not be the last event for our crew. After the football season, you can find us at the following events. On November 5th, Augusta Levy's Dancing with the Ohio Valley Stars will be held at the Capitol Theater in Wheeling. And on November 8th, Election Night will be held at the Marshall County Courthouse. On November 18th, the Main Street Bank Fantasy and Lights Christmas Parade will be live from downtown Wheeling on WTRF, and our live broadcast of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade will be on our YouTube page. These will be followed by other events with the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra, John Marshall Music Department, and the OVAC in the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year. To keep up with our crew and future broadcasts, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Are you looking for a fun fall activity? The City of Moundsville Arts and Culture Commission will be holding its third pumpkin paint later this month. Commissioner Kathy Fox really believes that organization keeps the community involved.
The whole goal of our Arts and Culture Commission is just to engage our community in fun ways to be creative and to get together and just enjoy being a member of our community.
The pumpkin paint will be held on October 23rd. It will run from 1 until 3 p.m. at Riverfront Park in Moundsville. Attendees will be given a pumpkin, paint, and free snacks.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It was established in 1985 by the American Cancer Society to help educate the public on early signs of breast cancer and how to prevent it. While October is when we spread awareness on the subject, it is important to continue learning ways to prevent breast cancer throughout the year. The ACS recommends if you are 20 to 39, you should try and get an exam once every 3 years and do self-exams. If you are 40 and over, you should try and get a mammogram every year and get examined every month. The American Cancer Society stresses the importance of looking into your family history to make sure you aren't at high risk of developing breast cancer. For more information, you can visit cancer.org. Again, that website is cancer.org.
Coming up next, teen teachers and community nights collaborated once again this year to bring back a fun seasonal event at Monarch Stadium.
Keep watching WJMH Reports. We'll be right back.
Get the facts on vaping. Fact: more than 20% of high school students have tried vaping. Fact: one disposable vape contains as much nicotine as 20 cigarettes. Now is the time to talk to your son or daughter about vaping. This message is brought to you by the Marshall County Health Department and Youth Service Systems. For more facts about teen vaping, visit marshallcountyhealthdepartment.com.
We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Maria Evans.
And I'm Roman Gray.
Earlier this month, the Ohio County Library hosted Lunch with Books. The featured guest was poet and musician Nathan Brown. When Nathan Brown was a kid, his older brother gave him an LP record of Rocky Mountain High by John Denver and a guitar. This inspired him to be a musician. Brown started playing music professionally when he was 17. Then he became a professional songwriter at the age of 20. Brown wants to introduce a distinct kind of poetry for the people that don't really like poetry, so they might reconsider.
I think there's a lot of people out there who think they don't like poetry. And I want them to encounter a different kind of poetry and realize, oh, maybe I could give that a chance.
Lunch with Books happens almost every Tuesday. If you would like to attend one of these events, go to ohiocountylibrary.org and click the calendar tab to find more information. Again, the website is ohiocountylibrary.org. The Cockane Farmstead is coming back with its Scarecrow Lane event this year in Glendale. Organizations, clubs, and businesses and individuals were invited to design their own scarecrow and set it up on the Cockane lawn for the community to vote on. Prizes will be given out with first place taking $75, second place taking $50, and third place taking $25. From Saturday, October 15th to Monday, October 31st, tickets to vote for your favorite scarecrow will be available for purchase for $1 per ticket, or 6 for $5, or 100 tickets with a $50 donation. During special hours, kids at the event will be invited to participate in a coloring contest and a fun scarecrow craft. To find more information about Scarecrow Lane or to see more events from Cockane Farmstead, visit their website at cockanefarmstead.com. Again, that's cockanefarmstead.com.
October 30th is going to bring back Track or Treat, a community event that was a huge success last year. The evening is hosted by John Marshall's Teen Teachers CTE class. Teen Teachers Vice Principal Maddie Pierce can't wait to see the community come together for another great night.
I think that it is important because it lets children come together, meet new people, do activities, and have a lot of fun.
Again, the event is on October 30th from 5 to 6 p.m. at Monarch Stadium. There will be music, games, and treats. The event is open to the public and free to attend. Halloween is quickly approaching and many people are getting prepared. Here's some of the times for upcoming Trick or Treat. On October 31st, Moundsville's event starts at 6 and will run until 7:30. McMecken will hold its Trick or Treat from 5 until 7. St. Clairsville starts its Trick or Treat at 6 and it runs until 7:30. Then in Wheeling, trick-or-treating will start at 6 and run until 7:30. Finally, Shadyside's trick-or-treat will be at 6 and run until 7:30. To find a time near you, visit your local community's social media or website.
Coming up, WJMH reporter anchor Alexa Bigford sits down with a kidnapping survivor to hear her story.
Keep watching WJMH Reports. We'll be right back.
Sometimes, one moment changes everything. One song, one game, one adventure, one mission. For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. You can transform lives, one wish at a time. Visit Make-A-Wish online to help grant more life-changing wishes.
We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Marie Evans.
And I'm Roman Gray.
Alicia Kozak is an internationally acclaimed and highly sought-after motivational speaker, abduction survivor, and missing persons advocate who has inspired millions through her message. She recently talked with John Marshall and Cameron students, as well as community members, to speak about internet safety and her experience with using the internet at a young age. WJMH Reports anchor Alexa Bigford also had the chance to sit down with Kozak. Here's an excerpt from that interview.
So first, can you briefly tell us your story?
Absolutely. So when I was 13 years old, I was groomed and lured from my home by an internet predator. He held me captive. He took me from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which isn't far from here, and took me to Virginia, which is about 5 hours away, and he held me captive in his basement dungeon, where I suffered horrendous abuse, and I was miraculously rescued because he had live streamed what he was doing to me to other people online, and somebody who was watching this live stream recognized me from my National Center for Missing and Exploited Children poster and contacted law enforcement. It was really quite a miracle, and I am just so lucky to be here. I was the first known case of child abduction by an internet predator, so there really wasn't anything in place for this, and there were no safety measures as well.
I mean, I'm obviously sorry that it happened to you, but I mean, I'm so happy that you're able to, you know, be well and stuff and tell everybody, you know, warn everybody about the dangers of the internet and stuff, and like teach kids, young adults, you know, anybody about safety, you know, tips and stuff like that to protect others. So, I mean, I know it must be hard to talk about this sort of stuff, but thank you so much for being able to explain and like talk about this to everybody.
It's really important. It is hard. It's a very hard story to tell. And in some ways, harder to tell now than it was years ago, because I am happy now. So I have to go back to a dark place and relive it, but it is so important. And my goal has always been to save one kid, and I know that I've done that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you know that, and that even if it's just one person, I mean, you have still helped somebody, and that's all that matters.
That's been my goal.
So,
if you can save one person, I think you can really change the world. One person
Exactly.
has so much impact, and that's really always been what I've tried to do. That's been my thing, because I look out in an audience, and I know these kids are going to go through something, or they have gone through some sort of trauma, and I can't save all of them. I can't save every kid on planet Earth, but if I can just save one, then it was all entirely worth it.
So, what inspired you to talk about your story?
Well, it sort of happened, I don't want to say naturally, but I realized very quickly how lucky I was to have been rescued. And I realized that this was happening to other children, and it was going to happen to other children, that this issue was only going to grow. And now looking at it 20 years from when it was then, it is definitely more of an issue in our lives. And at the time, nobody was talking about internet safety. It's a big reason why this happened to me, is that I didn't know what was dangerous, so I couldn't protect myself from it. And my goal was to go out and empower kids and help them to make the right choices and let them know that this is happening and that they have to be careful. And my big message was, if it could happen to me, it could happen to you. I started speaking out when I was 14 years old. And it was funny because some of the audience members were younger than me, but the majority of them were older than me. And I always felt, you know, if I'm talking to high schoolers, they have a different authority than I do, and I'm telling them something that maybe they feel like they already know. And it's just, it was a very different experience, and it was very hard to do at the time. But I saw the impact. I remember my very first presentation. I completely froze, to be honest. I was very shy, I was very traumatized. And I remember thinking that my little voice, I have this little squeaky voice, and I'm very shy and I'm very quiet, and what difference am I actually going to make? Am I going to make a difference? And I remember during this first presentation, I completely froze. And my mom and I had written like an entire script, and she came up and she was hiding behind the podium and she was reading off the lines to me. And I remember thinking after that, my little heart was broken, because I remember thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I thought that I could, but this isn't going to work. And that thought was broken by this kid coming up and rushing and giving me a hug and saying, thank you so much for coming here. And I didn't know how dangerous this was, and I'm going to be more careful now. And I realized that it wasn't so much about me being this like amazing speaker. It was more about me being genuine and sharing my experience and my pain and my journey.
What you just watched was a 5-minute excerpt from Alexa's conversation with Alicia Kozak. To watch the whole interview, you can check it out on our YouTube page at youtube.com/c/WJMH Media. Again, that's youtube.com/c/WJMH Media. Coming up next, find out about a fun way the Highland Sports Complex plans on helping a nonprofit organization.
Stay tuned. WJMH Reports will be right back.
Get the facts on vaping. Fact: more than 20% of high school students have tried vaping. Fact: one disposable vape contains as much nicotine as 20 cigarettes. Now is the time to talk to your son or daughter about vaping. This message is brought to you by the Marshall County Health Department and Youth Service Systems. For more facts about teen vaping, visit marshallcountyhealthdepartment.com.
Welcome back. We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Maria Evans.
And I'm Roman Gray.
Joining us for sports and entertainment news is WJMH anchor Matthew Wright.
Thanks, Maria and Roman. Cameron's basketball head coach, Holly Pettit, has been named WVSSAC Single A Girls Coach of the Year. Pettit's fresh off leading the Dragons in their first state tournament appearance 2 seasons ago, saw her team to return to the tournament last season. The team capped off the season with the 53-50 over Gilmer County to capture the program's first ever state champion title. Earlier this season, Coach Pettit Dragon lost to the same Gilmer County Titans team by 33. Cameron would go on to finish with a 22-4 record after beating Tyler Consolidated, and they were set to return to Charleston for the state tournament. The team started the tournament with a 74-43 win against Riverview and followed up to the dominant performance with a 7-point win over Tucker County and set up to rematch with Gilmer, this time with the biggest stage. Pettit and her staff were able to lead the team, learn from the early season blowout, and heading into the championship, her team felt more prepared.
The way we handled the pressure, I don't think we were prepared for it the first time that we played them, and we did a lot of scouting, a lot of game film watching.
Pettit's team battled all game to keep it close, and when seemingly about to head into overtime, tied 50, Cameron freshman forward Macy Neely stole a Gilmer inbound pass and then drilled a 3 as the buzzer sounded as the Dragons won a spectacular fashion. Just as the season as head coach, Pettit has solidified herself as once the best coaches in West Virginia as she looks to keep building off of the recent success of her upcoming season. The Highland Sports Spectacular will take place on Thursday, October 20th from 5 to 8 p.m. Tickets are $8 at the door and will include a hot dog, pop, and a $5 arcade card. Additional cash games are available at the door. All proceeds will benefit of the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley. General Manager Harvey Greenidge is excited to give back an important local nonprofit.
Last year was our first one, so this is our second year, and we're hoping to keep on growing it and providing much needed sponsor funds for the United Way.
For more information, you could visit thehighlandsports.com/spectacular. Again, that is highlandsports.com/spectacular. Many winter sports are coming up soon, including the John Marshall Wrestling. The team's first practice is on November 14th, and the Meet the Team and wrestle-offs are on the 25th. Some highlights in this year include the Greg's Market Jam Invitational on December 10th, Willing Park Duels on December 27th and 28th, the OVAC tournament, which runs through January 19th to the January 21st, Region 1 tournament on February 18th, and West Virginia State Wrestling Tournament on March 2nd to March 4th. For a complete schedule, visit them on Facebook at JM Wrestling. Again, visit them on Facebook at JM Wrestling. On Saturday, October 8th, the 23rd annual Augies 5K was held on Warwood Middle School. The race started at 9 a.m. and all proceeds went to the Ohio County Animal Shelter. Race director Tom Rounds values combining a race with giving them something important to him.
I combine my interests. I've been a runner for a long time. I want to support animal charities, and so I got the idea to put on the race and give the proceeds to the animal shelter.
Rounds hosts this event yearly and name it to honor the cat he once owned. Recently, the numbers of runners have declined, but Rounds want to keep it because of its supports. If you're interested in running, be on the lookout when next year's race date.
Thanks, Matt. Grandview Park recently held a day of entertainment and fun for families in the community.
Keep watching WJMH Reports. We'll be right back.
Sometimes, one moment changes everything. One song, one game, one adventure, one mission. For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. You can transform lives, one wish at a time. Visit Make-A-Wish online to help grant more life-changing wishes.
We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Maria Evans.
And I'm Roman Gray.
NAMI is the nation's largest mental health organization who's dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans who are affected by mental health.
Its event, NAMI Connection, held at Moundsville, is a weekly support group for people struggling with mental illness where they learn from other people's experiences and share coping strategies. Executive Director of NAMI Greater Wheeling stresses the importance of reaching out when you need help.
1 in 5 people are living with a mental health condition, so it's just really important that we talk about mental health because we know that the more that we talk about mental health, the more likely a person is going to reach out and get the help that they need.
To find out where your local NAMI meeting is being held, go to their website at nami.org, or you can call or text them at 1-800-950-NAMI or text 62640. The NAMI helpline can be reached Mondays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Every year, Grandview Park holds an annual fall festival, but due to rain, the event was canceled this year. In its place, the park decided to hold a Falling into Fun community event. Grandview Park Recreation Program organizer Trishelle Riggle hopes this event helps kids get active before the winter months.
Get kids outside and having some fun, so especially once it's getting colder and getting into that time of year, it's nice to have an outside thing before it gets too cold.
Families enjoyed the fun fall activities, and Grandview hopes to hold more similar events in the future. To learn more about seasonal events coming up at Grandview, you can visit their website at grandviewpark.com. Again, the website is grandviewpark.com.
Pause for a Cause is a program at John Marshall that offers many resources to the students for school events like dances. The organization has dresses, shoes, shirts, pants, and jewelry for those in need who can't get these supplies. They also have everyday needs for students like pencils, notebooks, shampoo, conditioners, sanitizers, and more. The advisors of this program are JM teachers Christina Gary and Marcy Robbins. Robbins enjoys doing this for the school because helping to support students is a passion of hers.
It's just something that I feel very motivated to do because I know how some kids struggle and need help, and if we can help them in any way to have an easier time at school or even at home, then we just want to help them as much as we can.
If you'd like to help support the program, you can donate gently used clothes or shoes you no longer want or need, or food for the student pantry. Other acceptable donations include canned food, coats, pants, hygiene products, gloves, hats. Donations can be made by dropping off items at John Marshall High School. If you'd like to know more information about this program, you can contact advisors Marcy Robbins, Robbins at k12.wv.us, or Christina Gary, Gary at k12.wv.us. Again, that is Marcy Robbins, Robbins at k12.wv.us, or Christina Gary, Gary at k12.wv.us.
Now, let's take a look at the week in pictures, brought to you by WJMH photographer student Kylie Parker. Thanks to photography student Kylie Parker for the photos.
Those were some behind-the-scenes pictures of our WJMH media crew at a recent home football game.
As we mentioned earlier in the episode, the WJMH media crew will be live streaming the last JM home football game against the Lindsley School on Friday, October 28th.
We want to thank WLU-TV and Xfinity for airing WJMH reports.
And you, the viewers, for watching our show. We'll be back next week with more stories from around the community right here on WLU-TV. For Roman Gray, Matthew Wright, and everyone here at WJMH Media, I'm Maria Evans. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
The West Virginia statewide high school business plan competition is an awesome opportunity for students to explore their ideas and engage in entrepreneurship.
Our goal is to shape the next generation of entrepreneurs by helping them turn their ideas into reality.
You know, the state of West Virginia is so entrepreneurial as it is. We have generations of entrepreneurs. So the high school business plan competition really helps build that future entrepreneurial pipeline. In working in communities across the state, we get to see these awesome entrepreneurs emerging from our high schools, and it's really beneficial for the state as a whole as it grows.
I heard about the business plan competition through my business teacher at my high school. So as a student going through the competition, I was able to fully understand what it took to be an entrepreneur and what it took to run a business.
High school students grades 9 through 12 are eligible to participate in the competition. Students will take their idea and be able to work it through with seasoned business professionals from across the state. They start with an idea, we get to work through it through the business model canvas, and by the end, they're presenting a business plan.
The best way for students to generate ideas is to think about problems that they see in society, either with themselves or other people, and then look for opportunities to solve those problems. When students are thinking about what is an innovation, they can look at an existing product or service and think about how they can make it better in a really creative way.
I've served as a judge in the high school business plan competition for the last few years, and it has been so rewarding to see the ideas of these students across the state. We have such brain power in our youth, and the state really benefits from our students being able to showcase that innovation in their ideas in this competition.
Students will receive various resources throughout the competition, including coaching, prototyping support, market research, patent assistance, access to maker labs across the state. In the final round, students will have the opportunity to pitch to investors and earn funding for their idea.
Students should participate in the business plan competition because they have nothing to lose and a whole world of opportunities to gain. You can really come in with any idea. You will meet experts, you'll make connections, you will make friends. And that was really the best part of the competition, was meeting so many new, innovative, creative, and just inspired people.
To learn more about the competition, head to our website, businessplanwv.com.